You know, for more than a decade now, the Burj Khalifa in Dubai has been the undisputed king of the sky. It's this incredible monument to what we can achieve. But the real question, the one that's kind of wild when you think about it, is why? Why in all this time has no one even come close to building taller?
See, when the Burj Khalifa was finished back in 2009, it didn't just sneak past the old record holder. No, it absolutely demolished it. The whole goal was to build something so ridiculously tall that it would be a mind-boggling 62% taller than the next guy. It was a statement designed to make anyone else think twice before even trying to compete.
And this really puts that number into perspective. I mean, look at this. Historically, whenever a new world's tallest building went up, it was maybe 5–10% taller than the last one. The biggest jump we'd ever seen before was about 19%. So for the Burj Khalifa to leapfrog everyone by 62%, well, that's just a complete and total anomaly. It's something we've never seen before in the entire history of architecture.
So that brings us right to the heart of our question today. We've seen tons of ambitious plans, lots of grand announcements, but the Burj Khalifa's record just stands. Why? Why is it so incredibly hard to top? What are the real limits holding us back?
To really get what's happening now, we've got to take a quick look back. The race to the sky is a story that's been unfolding for thousands of years, and it's that history that really shows just how jaw-dropping the Burj Khalifa's appearance on the scene really was.
For almost 4,000 years, you won't believe this, the Great Pyramid of Giza was the tallest thing humans had ever built. It wasn't until the 1300s that anything surpassed it. Then, fast forward to the 20th century, and things just explode with icons like the Empire State Building. And by the time we hit the 21st century, the game had moved to Asia, with Taipei 101 setting the bar at 510 meters. That was the record Dubai set its sights on, and then decided to completely obliterate.
Right? Seeing that slow, steady progress makes the Burj Khalifa's massive leap seem even crazier. You have to ask, who would even try something like that? And maybe more importantly, why? Well, the answer wasn't just about breaking a record. It was a huge, calculated gamble on the future of an entire nation.
So back in the early 2000s, Dubai's leaders had a pretty clear vision. They knew they couldn't rely on oil forever, they had to pivot. The plan was to turn the city into this global magnet for tourism and investment. And the Burj Khalifa, that was going to be the shiny, impossible-to-ignore centerpiece of it all, an icon so bold it would force the world to pay attention.
And the price tag for that vision? A cool $1.5 billion. It was an absolutely enormous investment, taking over 12,000 workers from all over the world to pull it off. But here's the thing, the bet worked. Today, Dubai is a powerhouse, and the value of all the property around the tower has gone through the roof, more than paying for that initial cost.
It's really hard to wrap your head around just how tall this building is, but this one fact makes it click. You can literally watch the sunset from the bottom, hop in an elevator, ride to the top, and watch the exact same sunset all over again. It's a spectacle. And capturing the world's imagination like that, well, that was the whole point.
Okay, so they had the money, they had the motivation, but how in the world did they actually build it? How did they pull off the physics? The answer is in this totally groundbreaking piece of engineering that made the whole dream possible.
This right here, this is the secret sauce. An engineer named Bill Baker invented a system called the Buttressed Core. Because when you get this high, you have two huge enemies trying to take you down: the building's own incredible weight and the brutal force of the wind. This system was designed to defeat both.
The design is genius, but it's actually pretty simple if you just think of a camera tripod. You've got this super strong hexagonal core running up the middle. Then, sprouting out from that core are 3 wings. Each wing basically holds up the other 2, creating this incredibly stable, self-supporting Y shape. And compared to old-school box-shaped skyscrapers, which can really get pushed around by the wind, this Y shape is a game changer. The shape actually confuses the wind, making it flow around the building instead of building up all that dangerous pressure. That incredible stability is what unlocked the door to building over 800 meters high.
So, with this amazing technology, you'd think the door to building even taller would be wide open, right? So, what happened? Why are we still, after all this time, looking up at the Burj Khalifa as the undefeated champion?
Well, it's definitely not for a lack of trying. I mean, you had projects like the Jeddah Tower in Saudi Arabia, which was supposed to be the first to smash the 1-kilometer barrier. You had other planned in Dubai, China, even a wild 1.7-kilometer tower proposed for Tokyo. But you start to see a pattern here, don't you? On hold, proposed, canceled. And it turns out, The biggest obstacles aren't really about engineering anymore. The real barriers, the things stopping us, are way more complex. We're talking socioeconomics, the insane cost and financial risk. We're talking material science. We're pushing concrete and steel to their absolute breaking points. And we're even talking about our own bodies, human physiology, and the challenges of living and working at those extreme altitudes.
This quote really drives the point home. We're seeing a fundamental shift. Some governments are actually starting to push back. China, for instance, recently banned new buildings over 500 meters, straight up calling them a wastage of money. The feeling is that the massive cost and energy just isn't worth it. The whole idea of building tall just for the sake of it might be over.
And that leaves us with this one final fascinating question. The Burj Khalifa wasn't just a technological marvel. It was born from this perfect storm of economic boom and national pride. So maybe the ultimate limit to how high we can build isn't physical at all. Maybe it's economic, and maybe it's social. Have we finally hit a ceiling that isn't made of glass and steel, but is just made of common sense?